There are people who believe that Harbaugh left Michigan for the NFL to avoid this investigation and then a penalty coming against him. I understand what they're saying because if reports are true, there were negotiations going on between Harbaugh's lawyers and the university during this contract negotiation about potentially giving him immunity from anything that might come down from the NCAA and not be able to fire him for cause for anything that happened during this investigation. They were trying to get that done. That was part of it. So I understand the sentiment that Harbaugh left to avoid all of this. If I was given a percentage on how much of it I think is that, I would say 20%. I'd say 80% of Jim Harbaugh leaving Michigan is because that 80% of Jim Harbaugh's ego can't handle two things. One, that he's never won a Super Bowl, and two, that his brother has. And by the time next season starts, it's a possibility that John Harbaugh has two Super Bowls, two Super Bowl trophies in the trophy case. I think Harbaugh has been so wrapped up in accomplishing everything he's wanted to in his career. And keep in mind, when he was with the San Francisco 49ers, and they were a bad team when he took over, then he took them to 3 consecutive NFC championship and played in the Super Bowl against his brother, John Harbaugh, and lost. And that was Harbaugh's one Super Bowl ring. That eats at a guy like Jim Harbaugh daily. And the way that it ended in San Francisco, where he was essentially pushed out, then going to Michigan for 9 years, 89 wins, 25 losses, 3 Big Ten championships, 3 spots in the college football playoff and a national championship. What else does he need? What else does he need to do, or what else did he need to do at Michigan to prove that he got it back up to where they believe they belong, which is among the nation's elite? They're the winningest program in college football history. Their star quarterback from the 80s came back and left his alma mater with the national championship. And every single year, and here's the other reason, it might be 85%, 90% that Harbaugh left to go to the NFL for the Super Bowl. He interviews every year. 2 years ago, it was with the Vikings. That thing was all but done. According to reports, he didn't get the job. Last year, Broncos withdrew his name from that. And then again, this year, his name was all over the place to be interviewing for jobs, and now he has one. And so to me, the investigation wasn't about that. The money, it wasn't about that. At the end of the day, Jim Harbaugh wanted to get back into the NFL because he wants to win a Super Bowl. And when it's all said and done, there's only a handful of coaches that have done both. Off memory, Pete Carroll, USC and the Seattle Seahawks, Barry Switzer, Oklahoma, Dallas Cowboys, Jimmy Johnson, Miami, Dallas Cowboys. It's a very short list. And here's one thing we know about Harbaugh. He's eccentric, he's different, he's competitive, and he loves to win. Some would say at all costs, but he loves to win. And so Jim Harbaugh returning to the NFL was about one thing, a Super Bowl. And he's got the quarterback to get it done. So look, again, college football doesn't disappoint. I hope. This is another reason I want Sharon Moore to get the job. One, he deserves it, but two, I don't want to get back on here and talk about another coaching hire at the end of January 23rd, 24th. It's done. Let's get into winter workouts. Let's get into spring ball. Let's enjoy the NFL playoffs for you warm weather state people. Let's get in some golf. Let's have a nice, stable college football offseason and then talk about stuff later on. But the biggest domino that we expected to fall, Harbaugh out. We'll see who's in at Michigan, and when it happens, we'll bring it to you here on the Matt Barrie Show on the ESPN College Football YouTube channel.
Give me something I can feel. Light a cigarette.